Hi guys, I am finally back home after a few weeks of being away. It was really like almost a month of being away because we were in New York and then we were here only for 2 days and then we went to Florida for 2 weeks. And while it was really sad to leave the amazing weather in Florida, I am really happy to be back home and just in our apartment. And I'm very excited to kind of get into a routine again. I feel like we kind of had a pretty good routine that we got into while we were in Florida, but of course it wasn't our space or our home, so it's just a little bit different. So I'm excited to be able to do that here. And I just went to the grocery store and bought a ton of stuff because we obviously were gone for so long, so we kind of needed everything. And I thought it would be good to show you guys exactly what I got. Everything that I purchased is what we typically buy, our staple things that we always have in our fridge or pantry. And I did go to Mom's Organic Market, which I know I've talked to you guys about a lot. It's my favorite grocery store because I feel like they just have the best produce and all of their produce is organic. And then generally just like the store is like very calm, it's organized very well. The parking lot is calm, which I love, versus Whole Foods near us is literally insane at all times of the day, every single day, and the parking lot is a show, so I just hate going there. But I will say that if you don't live near Mom's, a lot of the stuff that I do get at Mom's is available at Whole Foods or even on Amazon. So it's all stuff that you can get at other stores. I just prefer to shop at Mom's because the shopping experience itself is much more calm and pleasant in my opinion. But with that, I think we should dive into it and I'll show you everything that we got, which is a lot, so get ready. Okay, so the first thing is grass-fed and finished ground beef. This is from a farm called Hickory Nut Gap Farms, and they sell this specifically at Mom's. I honestly have not seen this at other grocery stores, but if you're not shopping at a Mom's, I would definitely just focus on finding ground beef that's 100% grass-fed and finished. Unfortunately, when ground beef says, or any type of meat says grass-fed, but it doesn't say and finished, that means that the cow or the animal could have been fed grass its whole life, like leading up to before they kill it. And then right before they kill it, they'll give it like a heavy grain diet or other things to fatten it up at the end of its life. Whereas when it's 100% grass-fed and finished, that means it was fed grass for the entirety of its life. And so we opt for that, especially because typically it's not just grain, it can also be corn and other things that are fed when it's not grass-fed and finished, and so we try to avoid that. So ground beef is a staple. We always have ground beef in the fridge. We'll make 2 pounds on a given night and eat most of it, so we do go through it pretty quickly. The other thing is that we do like to buy 80-20 ground beef. The flavor is so much better compared to like an 85-15 or in a 90-10. Having the extra fat, I know a lot of people kind of shy away from that, but I am of the belief that it's extremely good for you and it changes the whole flavor of the beef. If you're someone that doesn't like ground beef, I would urge you to try an 80-20 blend and season it properly, and you will fall in love with it. It's just the best. Okay. Next is eggs. So we are picking up our order from the farm on Thursday. It's Tuesday today. So we will be getting more eggs from the farm, but we needed some to hold us over for the next few days. So I picked up eggs. We absolutely love this brand, Utopia Hen. They're pasture raised, but they're also soy and corn free, meaning the chickens were not fed any soy or corn products. So that is really important to us. They're also non-GMO, but this brand in particular, the eggs are just so amazing. The yolks are super vibrant and like orange, and they're amazing. They taste amazing. So we absolutely love these. I've seen them at a few grocery stores, typically not at Whole Foods, but I would look for non-GMO. Pasture raised is extremely important. If you can get pasture raised and organic, that's even better. If you see anything that's soy and corn free, definitely go for that. Those would be my recommendations to look for. So next thing I got is ground lamb, and this is pasture-fed and pasture-raised ground lamb. It also mentions that it's raised without antibiotics and without hormones. So those are kind of things that we look for with ground lamb. This particular one is from Thomas Farms, and I'm not sure that they have this one in Whole Foods, but I know that Whole Foods recently, I was able to pick up a brand called Atkins, which is good. The other thing we like to get is these shredded potatoes from this brand, Cascadian Farms. We like to keep these in the freezer because they're just great to have, easy to cook if we don't feel like peeling and cutting a potato. Occasionally we'll do these for breakfast, but typically we don't. This is more so like a dinner thing for us with ground beef, but they're great to have. The one thing I will say is we do like this brand, Cascadian Farms, but you have to be wary because not all of their products are seed oil free, unfortunately. There's another version of this shredded hash brown that has, I think, other things in it, and unfortunately there's canola oil in that one. I don't know why they do that. It's really unfortunate, but this particular one, the only ingredient is organic potatoes, and so that's why we get this one. I would say just definitely read the ingredients. If you are to buy something else from this brand, you kind of can't just go in blindly and pick anything from them because, like I said, unfortunately there are some things that have seed oils. So I got a few bags of those, and then I also got organic mango, frozen organic mango chunks. This is, again, the only ingredient is organic mango. This brand is Earthbound Farm. This is just one of the brands that they had at the store, but they're organic. I think that's really important with fruit. And Armin actually uses these in smoothies, like he makes like shakes with them. So that's why I picked those up. Next thing I got was coffee. So Mom's Organic Market has their own coffee beans, and you actually grind them in the store. It's a really strong coffee, which I love, but it's also tested for mold and it's organic, so that's why we get this. I would say if you're in another grocery store and you're looking for coffee, I would definitely look for organic and look for a brand that you can go online to their website and see that they third-party test for contaminants like mold. I would say that's like probably the most important for that. I also picked up rice. We really love organic white basmati rice specifically, and we really like this brand, Lotus Foods. They actually third-party test their rice for heavy metals, specifically for arsenic, and so we love that, you know, this is organic, non-GMO, and also tested for heavy metals. That's a big issue with rice. So this is something that they do carry at Whole Foods and also just on Amazon, so I would definitely look at this brand, Lotus Foods. And we also like the white basmati rice because it has a lower glycemic index compared with other types of rice, which just means that it will spike your blood sugar more slowly. I also picked up toothpaste because we were running out, but we have recently been using this brand of toothpaste. It's from Redmond, and they call it Earth Paste. It's like a mineral toothpaste, which has very simple ingredients, and it also has nano silver in it. It's really clean ingredients. I really like it, and definitely recommend looking into this. You can definitely buy this on Amazon. Since our farm order pickup is not until Thursday, and I wanted milk to have with my coffee, also I have another one of these. I got 2 toothpastes for Armin and I, but I wanted to pick up milk to have for my coffee in the morning for the next few days. And to kind of give a little bit of background, we get the milk from the farm because it is raw, which means that it has not been pasteurized. Milk that is pasteurized is boiled at a high temperature to kill the bacteria or potentially harmful bacteria in the milk. And the harmful bacteria comes from the low standards at farms for the cleanliness of their cows. When they boil it, they're killing the bad bacteria that's in it, so it's more safe for human consumption, but they're also killing the good bacteria, and they're totally changing the composition of the milk and killing all of the nutrients, so you're not getting all the benefits that you could possibly get from the milk if it had not been pasteurized. That is why we opt for the fresh milk from the farm, to get the maximum amount of nutrients, and we're getting it from a farm that we know and trust, and we are not scared of any harmful bacteria because we know that the cows are well kept and maintained and cleaned properly, and they just hold themselves to a higher standard than some of these larger farms that are just unregulated. With that said, you can find, if you're unable to get from a farm or you're just not wanting to go the extra step to get from a farm, some grocery stores will have low temperature pasteurized milk, which means that it's still pasteurized to the standards that are required to be sold in a grocery store, but it's done at like the lowest temperature possible rather than like a really high temperature, meaning that a lot of the nutrients are preserved and basically you can just get more out of the milk. I still think that going the farm route is like the best way to go for sure. But if you can't do that, low temperature pasteurized, or it's also called vat pasteurized, is a really great option. And so I found a low temp pasteurized milk to put in my coffee for the next few days. And look how cute it is. It's so tiny. I really don't need a lot because we're going to pick up from the farm anyway, and I'm going to have that in a few days. So I didn't want to buy like a huge thing of milk, but it's literally so cute. This one is from Family Farmstead, which we also get the butter from this brand. One thing also that we look for is A2 milk. That is really important. And then again, this one is low temp pasteurized, 100% grass-fed, organic. I may have said that already. Also, this farm is a regenerative farm, which is really great. So this is the milk that I picked up, and I just think it's like literally the cutest thing ever. I'm obsessed. I also picked up some organic bananas. I picked up a bunch of onions. I also picked up shallots and garlic. We also use this in a lot of the things that we make, like lamb meatballs, ground beef, etc., so picked up a bunch of that. I picked up some kiwis, organic kiwis for Armin. He's obsessed with kiwis. They're also amazing for you, and I need to start eating them too, but I kind of like forget whenever we have them, and honestly Armin loves them so much, so I buy them and like he just eats all of them, which is great, but yeah, I kind of forget. I also got organic avocados. I eat pretty much a whole avocado every single day. I have half with breakfast, half with dinner. I absolutely love avocados. I also got an organic lemon. I do want to start drinking hot water with lemon around when I eat to kind of help with digestion and stuff like that. I also picked up apples. As you guys know, I have my fruit snack in the afternoon every single day, and so apples are really important. Usually I buy the Cosmic Crisp apples. I'm obsessed with them, but they didn't really look that great in the store today, so I instead got Sugar Bee, which is like my second favorite apple. So I got a bunch of those. And then, let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, potatoes. I picked up a few russet potatoes, just organic russet potatoes. We really like the russet potatoes for our potatoes that we make in the morning. They're also great for mashed potatoes if we do that for dinner. And then we are getting a lot of potatoes from the farm on Thursday, but I just grabbed a few to kind of hold us over until Thursday. I think that's everything that I got. I did not buy a few things that we typically buy, like for example, Kalamata olives, like we have some in the pantry, but I would say for that, definitely buy organic and definitely look at the specific ingredients of the olives. And that really goes for anything, any shelf foods or sauces, like really read each ingredient and make sure that there's no guar gums or additives, things that you can't pronounce, seed oils like canola oil, palm oil, rapeseed oil, which is another word for canola oil. You would be surprised how things like olives might have seed oils in them. Unfortunately, some brands are adding these seed oils to products like that, and if you don't read every single ingredient, you're gonna miss it. And I would say we've learned over time the brands that we know and we can trust, but the Cascadian Farm, like the shredded potatoes, is a prime example of you can't just take the brand at face value and trust every single thing that they do, because unfortunately a lot of these brands, they vary from product to product, so you really need to be reading the ingredients of all the products that you buy to make sure that they're clean. And then once in a while do a check-in to make sure that they haven't switched the ingredients on us. Again, for example, the Cascadian Farm potatoes, every once in a while when I'm buying them, I'll look at the ingredients to make sure that they didn't add canola oil to these, even though for the longest time we've been buying them and they haven't. You just never know with these brands. And so I would say it's a good practice really just to always be checking ingredients of things that you're buying to make sure that they're 100% what you want and that you're only putting the best of the best into your body. That's pretty much it for now. I'm sure I'll do another one of these at some point. We grocery shop multiple times a week, and obviously food is just like a big part of our lives, and cooking is a big part of our lives. So there will definitely be more content on this in the future, but I think this is a good start with our, basics that we buy in the store. I am going to put all of this away now, and I'll talk to you guys soon. So we are going on a little adventure right now. It snowed so much in DC last weekend, and DC is really not prepared for this kind of snow. So the roads are actually insane, and I've been dying to get my nails done, but I didn't want to deal with trying to park my car on the street because, as you can see, it's legitimately chaos. And there's basically nowhere to park anywhere in DC. Armin also needed to get his haircut today, but unfortunately we couldn't really line up the appointments very well. We just stopped at the place that he gets his hair done. Now we're driving to where I get my nails done, and he's gonna wait for me while I get my nails done. So yeah, we're just having a fun little Saturday getting all of our appointments, because then we leave on Wednesday actually to go back to Florida, and we'll be there for a full week. So I'm so excited about that. But it's actually crazy because I haven't gotten my nails done since the last time I spoke to you guys about getting my nails done, which was before the new year. I got them done on December 29th, and they look like this now. They really kind of stay pretty good, except for the fact that they're extremely grown out. Typically I go 4 weeks, but because of the snow I didn't go last week, and so this Monday, in 2 days, will be 5 weeks since I got my nails done. And I actually left them a little bit longer the last time I got them done because I wanted just a little bit of a longer look, and so they are especially grown out right now, and I'm extremely over this, so I'm so excited to get them done right now. That is the plan. Otherwise, we don't really have a lot going on this weekend. We've been kind of just homebodies. It's been kind of nice, but at the same time, we're getting a little antsy, and so it'll be really nice to go to Florida and just be able to be outside all day, every day. So anyway, I'll show you my nails when they're done. Bye. I just thought of one more thing that I wanted to share with you guys, which is that I'm arriving at my nail appointment at 1:53, and my appointment is technically at 2 o'clock. And I've actually never been more on time to a nail appointment in my whole life, so I'm really proud. And it's 100% because Armin drove me, and we were already out, so. I'm finally back from getting my nails done. It literally took an hour and 40 minutes because she was running a little bit behind, and I feel so bad. Armin was sitting in the car the entire time waiting for me, but we did it, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. They look so much better, and the length is so much more acceptable, so really happy about that. And we got back, and I right away made my snack that I have every day, which is an apple with honey and some chocolate chips. But honestly, the apples have been a lot smaller recently. I feel like over the summer they were massive. Even one apple I was so full after, but I do not feel satisfied from the apple that I just had. And we have some leftover bison in the fridge, or we had some leftover bison in the fridge. So I decided to heat that up, and I'm gonna eat that now as well. We decided to switch it up and do ground bison instead of ground beef the other night, and it was okay. I definitely think I like ground beef more, but it was pretty good. So that's my plan, just to eat this. And we made homemade honey mustard to go with our burgers last night by mixing a clean mustard and then mixing in the honey from the farm. So I think I'm gonna drizzle this on top of the bison. And it's 5 o'clock now, but both of us are having snacks, and then we'll probably make dinner in like an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. That is the plan for the rest of the night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hi guys, happy Sunday. I am just gonna be home today for most of the day. It's absolutely freezing outside, and like I showed you guys yesterday, there's snow everywhere, so I thought it would be fun to do an unboxing with you guys. I recently acquired another pair of shoes, and I wanted to show you guys. I truly have an obsession with shoes, if you haven't picked up on that already. I love that a different shoe can kind of totally change an outfit, and I feel like generally speaking, the price point of designer shoes is obviously much less than the price point of designer bags, and so I feel like it is really a great investment to be able to switch up an outfit. So for me, I feel like over the years I've really focused on growing my shoe collection to be able to diversify outfits that I have, that I wear again and again and that I love, but without having to spend as much money as I would if I were to be acquiring new bags all the time or just like new clothing all the time. And I think when it comes to my style in terms of outfits and things that I wear, most of the time I am wearing things that are pretty basic, I guess, in terms of just like jeans and a great top or trousers and a great top. That's really my go-to. And so by adding a really unique shoe, whether it be a flat for a more casual outfit or a heel to dress up the outfit, I feel like I can kind of make my outfit more unique, even though, you know, the base of the outfit is really just a pair of pants and a nice top. So anyway, the shoes that I just got are from Saint Laurent. I was eyeing these shoes for a while and was not sure if I should get them, but then it came around Christmas time and Armin was really not sure what to get me for Christmas, and I mentioned these shoes to him, and at first he really did not like them at all. He was very against them, but we ended up going to the store and I tried them on and he kind of came around to them. But we went to the mall before Christmas and they only had the patent leather version of these shoes. I honestly loved the patent leather version, but I was more so leaning towards the satin version that I had seen online, but they didn't have them in store. So we asked my sales associate if she could order the satin version to the store so that I could try them on. But given the timing of Christmas, the holidays, and then we were in New York and then Florida for a long time, we did not get to the store until literally last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. I was really deciding between two colors of these shoes and I couldn't decide, and I let Armin pick which ones he liked better. And so we went 2 weeks ago to try them on, and I wasn't obsessed with the color. I really wanted to compare that color with the other color that I had picked out. And Armin agreed that the color that he picked was maybe not what we were thinking it would be in person and just didn't kind of work on my skin tone. So my sales associate ordered the second color for me so that I could go back a week later and try them on. So that was last weekend before the snowstorm hit. Right away when I put this color on, I knew that these were the ones, and Armin definitely agreed. They just popped way more, and I think you'll understand why when I show you them. Honestly, I will say it was really nice to be able to actually go to the store with him to try them on, and we ended up going 3 times to try these shoes on. One time was when I tried on the patent leather ones, then the second time when I tried on the first color, and the third time when I tried on the second color that we ordered. But I'm saying all this because I definitely recommend, if you have a significant other or I don't know, a friend or a mom or anyone that you're buying a gift for, I would say to consider taking that person to a mall or to the stores and kind of giving them a budget to be able to pick out something that they want. I will say, in addition to that, of course, it's nice to have an idea of what you want before you go into the store, because a lot of these stores don't carry 100% of the inventory that they have online. So I would say it's good to also, have an idea beforehand as the person receiving the gift, but to be able to go in person and get that experience out of it, I think is really nice and very different from how, I typically shop, which is basically almost entirely online these days. So anyway, that's a long tangent about that. I will actually show you the shoes now. This is the box that they're in. They obviously have these dust bags with them, and these are the shoes that I just got. I really do feel like these are such a special shoe, and they're completely different from anything that I currently have in my closet because of the shape and because of the color. Even though they're red, I think they are kind of a neutral in their own way, because I feel like they're so wearable with so much. They kind of like serve almost like a neutral, but they're not, obviously, because they're red and hot pink. Especially with my wardrobe that's much more neutral generally, I feel like these are going to be great because they will add just something different to a more neutral outfit. One thing I want to point out is the pointed toe. So this is a very elongated pointed toe. I hope that you can tell in the video, but they really extend out, which is super unique and something I hadn't seen before and I absolutely love. Also, when these are on the foot, this part comes pretty low, so you have a little bit of that toe cleavage, which is kind of a signature thing for Saint Laurent. And then the color in the front of the shoe is this kind of like rusty red color. I think they call it rougine. And then the back is this like hot fuchsia pink. And I think the combination of these colors together is just so incredible, but also individually they're just such great shades of the colors that I'm just absolutely obsessed with them. So these are the shoes that I got. The other ones that I tried on were brown in the front. I think the color was called cappuccino, which is like pretty on point for the color of the front. And then the back was called salmon, so it was more of like a corally pink in the heel. And honestly, I really did love those as well, and I think they are a gorgeous shoe, but something about the color of the brown in the front against my skin tone wasn't popping the way that I wanted it to, whereas these really stood out and complemented my skin tone very well, and I think was kind of more what I was looking for. When I went to the store originally and I tried on the patent leather version, I did share those to my Instagram story, and I got a lot of mixed reviews about those. Some people were messaging me being like, those are amazing, I love them, and others, including like my mom and my sister, were like, literally, what are those? They look like elf shoes because of like how pointy they are in the front. My sister, I think, told me that they look like a beak, and like I most definitely see what she's saying, but I also think that that's actually why I really love them, because of how unique the shape is in the front, and I just feel like it's such a cool design and is really so different from anything that I currently have. I don't know. I definitely am really into it. I think it's just so amazing. So these are the shoes together. They also have this gold plate on the insole that say Saint Laurent, which I think is just a really special addition to the shoes as well. Just when they're sitting on my shelf, I feel like that is just going to look so nice. And yeah, so these are the newest addition to my closet. These are true to size. I did get a 39, which is what I have been getting all of my shoes in these days. Honestly, I walked around in them for a while in the store and they were actually pretty comfortable. I'm gonna put them on now and show you what they look like on. I'm hoping to bring them to Florida, I think on Wednesday as well. So I'm thinking that I should try to style them for summer since it's going to be, I think, somewhat warm in Florida. I actually have to look at the weather. It's so iffy at this time of year, but I'm thinking I'll do maybe a few like summery looks with this shoe just to kind of switch it up since I'll be going to Florida, even though it's literally 20 degrees outside right now, but that's okay. Okay, so I wanted to style the shoes with a really summery outfit, and I'm absolutely loving how they pop against the all-white look. I really wanted to style this top because I actually purchased it, I think, over 6 months ago, and I just haven't worn it yet. But it is a cotton bralette from Magda Buttram, and what I really love about it is that it has the signature Magda Buttram floral applique on it. But what's really great is that I can actually remove the flower, and it just makes it wearable in so many different ways, because I think if I were to wear it alone like this, I really like the way it looks with the flower in the back. But if I did want to drape a blazer or a jacket over my shoulders, I can either take the flower off completely or move it to the front. I've paired the top with these Citizens of Humanity jeans, which I wear so much, and I believe they're called the Isla cuffed crop jeans. Please ignore how wrinkled they are right now. I washed them and just have not ironed them yet, but I definitely will iron them before I pack them to go to Florida. So just disregard the wrinkle right now. And again, I just love the way the shoes look and how they pop against the all white. And I'm just really excited because I feel like I can really wear these shoes year round, which is so great. I actually pulled out my Chanel Kelly bag to wear with this outfit, and I think it definitely works, but I'm not obsessed with the way it looks. I definitely think it is an option, but after thinking about it for a second, I actually think that this bag works a little bit better. So this is another Magda Buttram piece that I own, has the flower applique on the front. I just think I like the way that this looks better just because it's a softer bag, and the flower is actually satin, so it kind of ties in with the satin in the shoes. This bag is so adorable, and like I said, it has the flower applique in the front. It's satin, cream colored. It also has a satin little pouch inside that actually holds your stuff, and then the rest is this like gorgeous crochet. Of course, this bag is more about the accessory than it's about the utility, but it definitely does fit what I need for dinner. So like a credit card, an ID, my lip gloss, and a lip liner. That's pretty much it. I'm like actually so excited to finally wear this top, and I'm really excited to wear it with these shoes because I feel like this top is so special on its own, but it really needs something to complement that, and these shoes are just so special as well, so I think it really comes together very nicely. I also did want to show you, I know the lighting in here is not the best when I stand far back, but these are the shoes closer up in the better lighting. I don't know if you can really see, but let me lean on this. Can you see that? I don't know. I'm shaking.